Hey folks, what's going on? This is the Teutonic Plague with the first episode of Fifth Down. Fifth Down, alright? Now, as I stated on Gamers Quarantine, I'm going to try to do these things once a week and bring you some football news. We're going to shoot for Wednesday because the football week starts on Thursday and ends on Monday. So I figure before the start of the football week, when the football season starts, we'll go over who won and who lost, my picks for the next set of games. All right? But the season hasn't started yet, all right? We are currently enjoying a time of relative peace in the world of football. So let's catch up on some off-season news, shall we? And let's do that right after I open this drink. Don't you explode. All right. All right. Pretty good shit. Now, let's talk some fucking football. All right. And first, of course, we're going to talk about my beloved birds, the Philadelphia Eagles. That always starts things off on the right foot. Let's talk some Eagles news. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but Carson Wentz might need a knee brace for the rest of his career, all right? Now, John Kelly, a professor of clinical orthopedic surgery, he works for Penn Orthopedic Medicine in Philly. He says that Wentz's return for the opener of the season on the 6th of September is, quote, very, very optimistic. He believes that Wentz is going to have to wear a knee brace for the rest of his career to avoid damaging his knee even more, and he wants him to take his time on the road to recovery, all right? And should we worry about his recovery, all right? Should we worry? If Wentz doesn't try to rush things, it'll be a lot better than if he tries to play during week one, all right? Now, Dr. Kelly says it's an ACL plus 2 and an RG3 equivalent, all right? Now, the good news for Wentz is he had a good surgeon, James Bradley, all right? James Bradley was this guy's surgeon, and his therapy is good too, all right? Now, I would like to remind everybody, and any real Eagles fan should know by now, that if our Carson Wentz, for some reason, cannot play, we've got us a Nick Foles, all right? We've got us old Saint Nick, number 9, all right? Old Saint Nick, number 9, Nick Foles, all right? Just in case the great Carson Wentz, the Wentzinator, as I call him, can't play on week 1, Foles can step in and take over in case the Wentzinator can't play, all right? That is if we don't trade Foles. More on that later. That is if we don't trade Foles. And I went over in Gamers Quarantine how desperate I am for the Eagles to keep Foles. I mean, if Wentz can't play on week 1, we need Foles, all right? We need Foles this coming year. And all other years, for that matter. I mean, good Lord. If you trade Foles, Roseman, that'll be the biggest mistake you'll ever make. And probably the last one, because if you trade Foles, good God, I hope they fire your sorry ass. If you trade Foles, I seriously hope they fire your fucking ass and make it so you'll never be a GM again after that. Now, I hope to God this isn't an RG3 type scenario. I'm hoping that Wentz can play for week 1, but if he can't, hey, however long it takes to heal up, he'll be playing again next year. He'll probably be playing again next year anyway. So you know what? However long it takes you to heal up, Carson, take your time because at least we got Nick Foles. All right, at least we still got Foles. All right. Torrey Smith, this guy, he would like to stay with the Eagles. He wants to stay in Philadelphia. Why? Because we won the Super Bowl this year. And he is confident that we will continue to win games, win championship titles, and win the Super Bowl. And since he's confident, he wants to ride the wave. All right, he wants to ride the wave. Now, I'm going to quote this guy. It's something that I'm probably anticipating being back. I think both sides know that. But I also know it's a business as well. You understand that as a player, and you have to understand to protect yourself. I'd love to be back, and hopefully it works out that way. Anything else that happens, I'll kind of deal with it. So he wants to stay in Philly, but he doesn't. If he can't do that, and that's what the circumstances dictate, then he's fine with it. But he'd really rather stay in Philly, given his druthers. All right. Now, he says the reason. Smith says that the reason that Super Bowl hangovers occur is because they. Start again. The reason a lot of Super Bowl hangovers occur is because there are a lot of changes that go on with the team who wins the Super Bowl. I call that just after the Super Bowl when the coaches leave and when the players leave. I call that the Super Bowl exodus, when coaches move on to other teams, when players are traded, all right? When Super Bowl winning players are traded. I call that the Super Bowl exodus, and that does tend to lead to a Super Bowl hangover. Hopefully we can break the pattern. I would like to win Super Bowl 53. Of course, I would like for the Eagles. I would love for the Eagles, for the Birds to win Super Bowl 53. Are you kidding me? Let's go Birds. Birds to the fucking grave. All right? Now, it says the Eagles will have an option of $5 million for Smith in 2018 and also 2019. And if Smith wants to return to the Eagles, he'll have to do some reworking to his deal because we don't have the cap space to pick up the $5 million option. So he'll have to rework the deal. I am altering the deal. Pray I do not alter it any further. And that's the story behind Torrey Smith. He wants to be back with the Eagles, and he wants to be a part of multiple championship runs, and he wants to help the team win. He wants to help our guys win because he did help our guys win in the Super Bowl. And since he's still hyped about the Super Bowl, he wants to ride the wave. And you know what? I can't blame him. That's what I do in his position too. All right, that's what I do in his position too. If my team if I played for a football team, let's say the, I don't know. We'll use an example. We'll make one up. Let's say I play for, I don't know. Got to think of a good team name. All right. Let's say I play for the Florida Fuck Yous. All right. I'm playing for the Florida Fuck Yous. All right. And as a member of the Fuck Yous, if we win the Super Bowl, I'll obviously want to stay with that team and help them win another Super Bowl. Hopefully, maybe, perhaps. I'd want to ride the wave too. God, that was a horrible team name. The Florida Fuck Yous. Oh, my God. Well, the good news is at least we're not doing this live. Now, the Eagles want to trademark the Philly special phrase. Because if you remember, of course, the Philly special, you've all heard of the Philly special. You all watched the Super Bowl. You know what the Philly special is. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. When Foles caught that touchdown, that's the Philly special. And what they want, our Eagles, what we want is to exclusively own that phrase. We filed the trademark on Thursday. We filed the trademark on Thursday, all right, last Thursday, and we're mostly going to use it for putting it on clothes and shit. You know, like you put the logo on clothes. We kind of copyrighted the logo. We put that on clothes, all right, but we're not the first people to do it. We're actually the 8th, all right. We got folks in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Florida, New Jersey, and as well as Yuengling, a brewing company in Pennsylvania. They filed for the rights to own the phrase as well. And now people are associating the Philly special with the trick play in the Super Bowl, where the touchdown pass was caught by Foles, by St. Nick. Now, Josh Gerben, who's a lawyer for Gerben Law in D.C., according to him, we'll have to wait 4 months for the patent office to sort out the files, and then another 8 months to see whether we'll be awarded the trademark. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, fellow Eagles fans, but chances are we won't. Because if 8 other people filed for the trademark and they didn't get it, it's kind of like hammering a nail. If you hammer a nail and you hit it on the head and it goes into the wood, and you hit it on the head again, and it goes into the wood, and you hit it on the head again, and it goes into the wood, and you continue this, what do you think is going to happen the next time you hit that nail on the head, huh? All right? Now, Gerben is questioning, Gerben says the trademark office is going to say, wait a minute. Does the name of the play belong to the Eagles, or does it deserve to be in the public domain? All right? And we don't have a comment for that, all right? But remember, folks, that the Steelers Hall of Famer Franco Harris, the phrase "Franco's immaculate reputation" is his, and that would be his catch in the AFC playoff in 1972 when the Steelers beat the Raiders. Now, for those that don't know, they do go over the Philly special in detail. I'm going to quote from the article. The Philly special was called for a critical Eagles touchdown on 4th and goal late in the second quarter of the Super Bowl. On the play, running back Corey Clement took the ball on a direct snap, then pitched the ball to tight end Trey Burton, who threw it to quarterback Nick Foles in the end zone. The Eagles went on to beat the New England Patriots 41 to 33, of course. 41 to 33. Now, the NFL teams, they've been getting on their trademark filings, right? We filed to trademark Fly Eagles Fly. The Vikings are trying to trademark Minnesota Miracle. The case of the Keenum Diggs pass that, the Keenum Diggs pass that got them the NFC, into the NFC title game, only to be beaten by us. That's the Minnesota Miracle, all right? Now, Mr. Keenum would also like to trademark the phrase Minnesota Miracle or Minneapolis Miracle, whatever. And a source said that Keenum will likely pursue the phrase for himself. He'll go after the phrase for himself. But that's if, and only if, he stays in Minnesota and continues to play for the Vikings. Next month, Case Keenum will be a free agent. Case Keenum is going to be a free agent next month. And that's the long and the short of this article. We want to, basically, long and the short of it is, we want to trademark Philly Special. I don't think we're going to get the trademark because 8 other teams have tried to file the phrase as their trademark. So, honestly, I don't see how this is going to happen. Now, our wide receiver, Alshon Jeffrey, he's out for at least 6 months. I want to go ahead and wish Alshon Jeffrey a speedy recovery because he is going under the knife for a full tear in his right rotator cuff, and he'll be going under the knife. He'll be going under the knife on Wednesday. I think he's going into surgery. Wait, today is Wednesday as I'm recording this. He's going into surgery today. Well, fuck. I hope he feels better and recovers soon. He's going to be out for 6 months. Let's see. It's February now. March, April, May, June, July, August. He'll be back in August. And now somebody said that Alshon Jeffrey's probably going to miss the preseason, and we're unsure about the regular season, but they expect him to be ready for week 1. All right. Now, for those that don't know, he got the injury in training camp. All right. But he said he wanted to play through the pain. That's what it's all about, playing through the pain. I mean, if you're a football player, your tolerance for pain's got to be through the fucking roof. All right. Now, Alshon Jeffrey did start all the games. He started all our games. And this year he caught 57 passes for 789 yards and 9 touchdowns. That's not bad for a wide receiver. Now, in the postseason, Jeffrey had 12 receptions for 219 yards and 3 touchdowns, including that including, of course, that 34-yard touchdown he made in our glorious victory over the New England Deflatriots. The New England Patriots. I'm sorry, my bad. In the Super Bowl. All right. Now, altogether, that is. All right. Get ready for this. That is for regular and post. That is. All right. 1,008 yards. 28 receptions. And of course, 12 touchdowns. 12 touchdowns. That's pretty good. That is pretty good for a wide receiver. And of course, he was originally a second-round draft pick of the Bears in 2012. And that's how he broke into the business. And now he is an Eagle. And I'm actually glad he is on my side, all right? I think I'm done talking about the Eagles for right now. The Broncos are apparently going to try to trade Simeon, and they're going to try for a better quarterback. Now, I saw Denver play their first couple of games, all right? I saw Denver play their first couple of games. All right. And, you know, they won a couple of games, but it turns out it was a fluke. All right. It was a fluke. How'd the Broncos do this season? Jesus Christ. The Broncos were 5-11 this season. 5-11. I'm sorry, Denver, but that's terrible. That's fucking terrible. So, you know what? Trading Trevor Siemian, I commend you. That's excellent thinking, Denver. That's good thinking. All right? You need to trade Siemian. I'm sorry, 5-11? Yeah, I think Siemian needs to be traded because he sucked! Now, they're going to go for another quarterback, of course, this offseason. All right? Denver had a 9-7 record in 2016. All right? And this season, of course, they finished 5-11. And so Denver's saying, you know what? We probably need a new quarterback. I'm sorry. I mean, I can understand. Okay, so your team wins Super Bowl. Let me level with you, Denver. Your team won Super Bowl 50. All right? And that's great. All right? Your team won Super Bowl 50. All right? You didn't make it to Super Bowl 51. Now, if you had made it to this Super Bowl, all right, even if you did lose, you would have at least appeared. You probably would have lost to the Eagles, let's be fair, because I recall we did give you a very sound thrashing. I believe it was week 9 of this season, all right? So, you know, I can understand a 1-year Super Bowl hangover, and then you go back to the Super Bowl and play in the Super Bowl again. But 2 years, Denver, a Super Bowl hangover of 2 years. And you have, what, 3 Super Bowls? You got 3 rings. All right? 2 years ago, you got number 3 with Peyton Manning. See, this is the trouble with banking everything on one player. So, all right, you acquire Peyton Manning that year. Well, that's great. All right. And then he decided that he was getting over the hill for football and that he needed to retire. I'm sorry, Denver, but the minute Peyton Manning retired, you died. You died. You lost all your steam and died. All right? And frankly, you know, this is what happens when you bank everything on one player. You bank all your odds on one player, put your eggs in one basket. This is what happens. All right? This may come to you as a shock, but the quarterback is not the only player on the team. That's why you don't hear me going on and on about, oh, Nick Foles. Oh, Carson Wentz. I can't wait to see Carson Wentz. I can't wait to see Nick Foles. That's why I don't hear me going on about Foles, Wentz, Wentz, Wentz. No. You heard me. I mean, I was talking about Alshon Jeffrey. All right. Yes, I was talking about Foles and Wentz. I was talking about Wentz earlier, but I was also talking about Alshon Jeffrey. All right. I was also talking about number 82. All right. There are 11 players at any given time on the field on a football team. Now, granted, the quarterback is the leader of the offensive line, so he gets most of the credit and unfortunately most of the blame as well. So being the quarterback's a double-edged sword. I get it. But if you bank everything on your quarterback and your quarterback leaves and you get a new quarterback, you run around with a chicken like your head cut off. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, we have no quarterback. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And you flounder around like a fish out of water, and you wonder why the next year you suck. And then you fail to get a better quarterback, and the next year you continue to suck. And in Denver's case, you sucked worse this year than you did last year. Will someone please explain this to me? Why Denver would bank all their odds on one player? Because apparently, but no, apparently intelligence is not a prerequisite of being a coach or a manager of the Denver Broncos. At least for the Philadelphia Eagles, in order to be a manager or a coach or even a player, you have to at least have the fucking IQ of the fucking monster I drank to wake me up this morning to qualify for the job. You have to be somewhat competent, but apparently that's not how they do things in Denver, is it? Now, I hear you in the comments. Oh, 3 Super Bowls. Super Bowl count 3-1. Super Bowl count 3-1. We got more rings. We got more rings. Yeah. Only guess who won the Super Bowl this year and you didn't? Guess who made the AFC? Guess who represented the AFC in the Super Bowl and you didn't, huh? Tom Brady. You people were beaten by Tom Brady. How completely and utterly humiliating. Did you even make the playoffs? I don't think you even made the playoffs. No, 5-11, you don't make the playoffs with a record like that. So shut up, all right? Whatever you had 2 years ago, it's gone. Until you find a new quarterback, look, you guys are not going to win if you don't find a new quarterback. Until you find a new quarterback, new coaches, and new management, and you give your team something of an overhaul, especially until you find a new quarterback. I'm sorry, Denver, but it's done. Your winning record, your reputation, your reputation, what you had with Elway. I mean, come on. You had some great names in that team. I mean, Manning, not everybody likes Manning, but Manning, Elway, Tebow, precision, efficiency, an unstoppable force, victory, going strength to strength. These are the things you had. And you know what? I would not be surprised if your next quarterback consisted of a paper bag, all right, full of Trevor Siemian's biggest shit. With QB and black magic marker on the bag. I would not be surprised if that's your next quarterback. How the mighty have fallen, Denver. And that is the reason you lost. And now we move to a team that's worse than the Broncos. So cheer up, Denver. All right, cheer up, Denver. It could be worse. It could be worse. You could be the Browns. Let me tell you something about the Browns. All right? You folks in the dog pound, you should be amped as hell. All right? Are you as amped as I am? Because I'm fucking hyped. Let me take a sip to the dog pound. The dog pound. There's no denying. The Browns are fucking glorious. Do you know why? Because this season, I didn't think you could do it. I didn't think you could pull it off, Browns. I didn't think you could pull it off, Dog Pound. I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't think you folks in the Dog Pound could pull it off. But somehow, you managed to pull a miracle out of the hat. When 31 other fandoms called you losers, failures, you looked at them and said, no! And you proved them all wrong. You had a perfect season. You had a perfect season, Browns. A perfect 0-16 season. And that is a clap. That's a clap from me. Congratulations, Dog Pound. You did it. I don't know how you did it and pulled off your perfect season, but you did it. And I couldn't possibly be prouder. There's no way I could possibly be prouder. All you need now is an entirely new team. At least the Jets. At least the Jets. The Jets? Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be talking about the Jets because the Jets didn't have the shining, perfect record that you had this year. The Jets didn't have the perfect record that the Dog Pound had. 5-11? Ha! Trivial. Absolutely trivial. Absolutely trivial. Why? Once you fill that hole, once you fill those holes and realize that you've got the draft picks and cap space to do the job, all right? Once you get a new quarterback, a new offense, a new defense, if you're aggressive in free agency, all right? If you get a new quarterback, if you fix your holes, if you stop being the Browns as you're known, you might finish the season with a glorious, earth-shattering record of 3-13. I commend you, Browns. I applaud you. You could not possibly make your team any worse than it is. So take heart, Browns. There's nowhere for you to go but up, up, up. Take heart, Browns. There's nothing for you to go. There's nowhere for you to go but up, up, up. Going up. That's the only place you can go. And who knows, next season, you may be able to proudly declare, we've done it. We've actually won a game. And that is why the whole world looks up to you. And now, last but certainly not least, Tom Brady He says he doesn't do cheat days. Now, I found this article amusing. He says, I believe in the ideals of balance and moderation, right? And it goes on and on about his diet. But what grabbed my attention was the title of the article. Tom Brady doesn't do cheat days. Folks, if you're Tom Brady, you don't do anything but cheat days. Every day's a cheat day if you're Tom Brady. Only difference this year is you couldn't manage to cheat your way out of the, into winning the Super Bowl. You couldn't cheat your way into a Lombardi trophy and Super Bowl ring number 6 to tie with the Steelers. Every day may be a cheat day for you. But there are some days when real teams, honest teams, good teams that can win without cheating, like the glorious Philadelphia Eagles. Those majestic birds of Philadelphia with our St. Nick and our Carson Wentz and Alshon Jeffrey, all right? And such great players as Jay Ajayi, Corey Clement, all right? To say nothing of the great LeGarrette Blount. There are some days you just can't cheat your way out of it, Tom. There are some days you just can't do it. And that is the culmination of the first episode of Fifth Down. Thank you, everybody. I'm the Teutonic Plague. Expect a new issue, expect a new episode of Fifth Down next week when we talk some more football. And next week, we will be going over yet more preparations and observations. More preparations and observations over the course of this time of relative peace so we can brace ourselves for the coming war. Thank you. Have a nice night.